if I had a digital camera in 1979, have you ever thought about this? I was here today scrolling through my phone, taking pictures of everything, even the cashew tree in the backyard, when it hit me like lightning. What if I could go back to 1979 with this digital camera in my hand? Back then, people only knew those analog cameras where you'd click and had to wait to develop the film at the lab to see if the photo was any good. Imagine me showing up there with a camera that displays the photo instantly, doesn't need film, and stores 1,000 photos. So, yeah, I thought, let's go on this crazy journey. And there I went, landing right in 1979, smack in the middle of the market fair in rural Brazil, with my digital camera hanging around my neck, people staring at me like I was an alien. They had no idea the chaos that was about to unfold. Because one thing is having future technology, another thing is people from that era understanding what the heck you're doing. Get ready, because this story will have photos without film, people thinking it's witchcraft, and me almost becoming a circus attraction. Let's go. If I had a digital camera in 1979, I'd end up right in the middle of the market fair in Caruaru on a hot Saturday. I arrived all proud with my camera hanging around my neck. That modern little thing, all black with little buttons. The first one who saw me was Senor Zo from the flower stand. The man stopped weighing the kilo of cornmeal and kept looking at me sideways. "What machine is that, girl?" he asked. I gave that little smile and said, "It's a camera, Senor Zer, but this one here is different from the others." That's it, a crowd gathered around me, so I explained, "Look here, this camera doesn't need film. It stores the photos right inside, in something called a memory card." People's eyes widened. Donna Maria from the fruit stand asked, "What do you mean it doesn't need film? And where does the photo go?" Then I showed the little screen on the back of the camera, and folks almost fell backward. "This machine has a little TV on the back," a kid shouted. I laughed. "My dear, this here is a screen that shows the photo right when you take it." The buzz increased, and soon there were 50 people wanting to see. I decided to do a demonstration. "Senor, let me take a photo of you here." The man got all awkward, adjusted his straw hat, and stood stiff as a statue, the way people posed back then. I clicked, and there, folks, was the funniest moment. I turned the camera and showed him the photo. The man almost fainted. "Ave Maria, is that really me? But I didn't see you put film in that machine." I explained it didn't need it, that it was all electronic. But then Donna Maria dropped the bombshell. "Electronic! That must be the devil's work." Girl, people started to divide. Some thought it was wonderful, others got scared. An elderly man made the sign of the cross and said I was messing with dark things, but most wanted to take photos. A huge line formed. I took photos of everyone, the chestnut vendor, the lace lady, the accordion player nearby. Every time I showed the photo on the little screen, people screamed like it was magic, until someone asked, "And to develop these photos, where will you go?" Then I answered, "Don't need to develop them. They stay stored right here." That's when things really started to go south. The owner of the photo lab in town, Senor Antonio, arrived at the fair to shop and saw all that commotion. When he discovered what I was doing, he turned purple with rage. "You're going to ruin my business. How am I supposed to sell film development if you're taking photos without film?" I tried to explain that was just a demonstration, that this technology didn't even exist yet at that time for real. But he didn't want to hear it and left huffing, saying he was going to call the police to confiscate my devil's machine. The fair turned into a real circus. While some wanted photos, others were scared. And Senor Antonio was there scheming. I thought, man, I just wanted to take some photos and already caused trouble. But the worst was yet to come, because besides not having film, this camera also had no way to print the photos right there. And when people discovered that, well, things were going to get really ugly. Want to know what happened when everyone wanted to take their photos home? Comment below, I want chapter 2, and let's see this chaos continue. If I had a digital camera in 1979, I'd discovered that taking photos is the easy part. After all that commotion at the fair, People started asking, okay, but now what? How do I take my photo home? I froze. Folks, I had taken about 200 photos, everyone wanting theirs. But how was I going to explain that? To print these photos, I needed a computer, a printer, and these things would only really exist in about 20 years. I looked at everyone waiting and thought, I'm screwed. Senor Zo was first to ask, Miss, where's my photo? I tried to explain calmly. Look, folks, here's the thing. This camera here stores the photos, but to turn them into paper, I need other equipment that hasn't been invented yet. The silence was deafening. Dona Maria frowned. What do you mean not invented? But aren't you here with the machine? Primera side? Yeah, this machine came from the future. But I forgot to bring the printer along. Done? Someone shouted from the back. This girl is crazy! Another added, she's taking pictures and not delivering anything. It's a scam. The situation started to go downhill fast. People started getting angry. Senor Zo said he had stopped selling flour to take a photo. Donna Maria left a cheese stand, and now everyone wanted their photos on paper like it was with normal cameras. I tried to show the photos again on the camera's little screen, but nobody wanted to know. I want to hang it on the living room wall. A lady yelled, I want to show my grandkids, said another. I was surrounded by a bunch of irritated people when I had an idea. What if you all come to my place and I show all the photos on something bigger? People accepted, but with one condition. I had to find a way. I took everyone to the house where I was staying. A simple little house downtown. There was a black and white TV. One of those old ones with an antenna. So I thought, could I connect the camera to the TV? But man, in 1979, TVs didn't have USB ports. No HDMI, nothing like that. I looked at the camera's cables, looked at the TV's little holes, and nothing fit. People were there in the living room waiting, and I was sweating cold, trying to make that jerry rig work. I pulled, turned the camera upside down, and nothing. Senor Zay was already losing patience. Girl, you don't even know how to use that machine properly. That's when I had the craziest idea of all. Grab the camera, put the little screen really close to the TV screen, and let people see the photos like that from afar. I know. It was ridiculous, but it was what could be done. I turned on the camera, put it in gallery mode, and started going through photo by photo while people squeezed trying to see something on that tiny 2-inch screen. Zoom in, they shouted. Can't zoom in, folks. It's what we got. It became a crappy cinema session, with everyone complaining they couldn't see, and wanting to go back to see the photos better. In the end, half the people left thinking I was a scammer. The other half still thought it was witchcraft. And Senor Antonio from the photo lab was more relieved because he realized my future technology wasn't going to steal his customers anytime soon. At least not until they invented printers. But the biggest lesson I learned was, what's the point of taking digital photos in 1979 if there's no way for people to take them home? Me there with cutting-edge technology and people wanting paper. Want to know how I solved this? Comment, I want Chapter 3, and come discover the crazy solution I came up with. If I had a digital camera in 1979, I'd learn that modern technology needs electricity. After all that confusion with photos that wouldn't print, I thought the worst was over. Not even close. If you enjoyed this crazy time trip and want to see the next crazy things I'm going to do, comment which device you'd like to see in the next episode. Should I take a drone, a smartwatch, a portable air conditioner? Tell me down below, and let's go to the next adventure.